As night falls over Skyrim, the world transforms. Fierce animals leave their dens in search of food. Hunters roam the tundras, bow in hand, in search of prey. And 𝕲𝖳 and 𝕲𝖑𝖑𝖔𝖈 rises far above them all, their soft silvery glow spilling over land and creature alike. But they are more than just lights in the sky. They have shaped stories, guided travelers, and stirred wonder into every civilization and religion for as long as anyone can remember. Beneath their watchful gaze lies the Silent Moon's camp, home to a group of bandits whose leader is trying to learn the secrets of a very particular landmark atop the hill, the Lunar Forge. When the sky is dark and the moons are full, the forge in question is more than just a place to shape steel. It's an altar where the heavens meets the earth below. The flames seems to dance with a curious light, casting shadows that stretch and sway, as if the forge itself was alive. Within the camp lies a book which states the following: The Forge. I have managed to get the forge itself up and running, but again, I find nothing special about its workings. These weapons were clearly forged here, yet the secret of their enchantment remains elusive. All I have been able to discern so far is some connection between the weapon's power and the appearance of the moons. The lunar weapons. The weapons themselves are crafted of what seems to be normal metal, but while the moons are high above, they gain an additional ability. It seems that once the sun has gone down, the lunar weapons take on a vampire-like ability, transferring a small amount of health of the victim to the user. With this in mind, I believe the Lunar Forge draws its power from the celestial cycles of Magnus, 𝕲𝖳, and 𝕲𝖑𝖑𝖔𝖈, reflecting Nirn's deeper duality between light and shadow, order and chaos. The lunar weapons may glow only under the shimmering light of the two moons, because they draw energy from the veil, the boundary between Mundus and Aetherius. The stories speak of Magnus, the architect of creation, who in the end abandoned his work of creation upon seeing the severe costs of forming the mortal plane. His departure tore a large hole in the veil. That tear became Nirn's sun, a searing gateway through which raw, untamed magicka floods the world. 𝕲𝖳 and 𝕲𝖑𝖑𝖔𝖈, however, are quieter echoes of that divine creation, known as the sundered halves of Lorkhan's flesh divinity. They are said to be remnants of his body, symbols of sacrifice and transformation. Just as Lorkhan's lingering presence binds the cycles of change and renewal, they reflect a gentler, more tempered form of magic, one that shifts with the rise of dawn and the fall of dusk, much like the Lunar Forge and its weaponry seem to do. The Forge's ability to enhance weapons under the light of the moons suggests a deep resonance with several ancient groups, known throughout history for their reverence toward the heavens. The 𝕲𝖈ids in particular were notorious for their affinity with the stars and the moon, often crafting devices attuned to starlight and moonlight. It is entirely possible that the forge was their creation, perhaps a remnant of their lost knowledge left behind or repurposed by later civilizations who sought to tap into its power. Another theory connects the forge to 𝕱𝖈, the Daedric prince of the Hunt, whose dominion over lycanthropy and the moons might suggest that the Lunar Forge was once a sacred rite for rituals involving werewolves or other moon-touched beasts. Weapons crafted here could have been designed specifically to hunt or protect such creatures. It is intriguing to consider the civilizations, clans, and cults of ages long past, each bound to the mysterious cycles of the two moons. Whatever the true origin of the forge is, the lunar weapons seem less like mere tools of war and more like keys. Keys that unlock something hidden from mortal eyes, revealed only when the veil is thin and when Maser and Secunda rules the sky over Magnus, and the world itself seems to draw nearer to its deepest, most darkest secrets. As dawn breaks over Skyrim, the sky is set ablaze, its golden light spilling across jagged peaks and sweeping tundras. A lone wolf's howl echoes before fading into the wind, and the earth stirs beneath the warmth of morning's first light. It is under this golden glow that Whiterun stands, a city built on stone, steel, and stories. Its legacy stretches back centuries to the era of the 500 companions, and at its heart lies the legendary Skyforge, an ancient fire burning within the base of a towering, bird-shaped monument that watches over the plains. The Skyforge was first discovered by 𝕱𝖑𝖑 of the River, a dear friend of Ysgramor, and who would eventually come to be the captain of 𝕱𝖈𝖎𝑑𝖑, a name taken from one of the great ships that carried the Atmorans across the Sea of Ghosts from their distant homeland. The Hall of 𝕱𝖈𝖎𝑑𝑑 itself is in fact built from the hull of that very ship, preserved as both a shelter and a monument to their journey. 𝕱𝖑 and his crew were among those who traveled south from 𝕱𝖈𝖎𝑑�𝑐's Head, a wind-swept headland at the northern tip of Skyrim's Broken Cape, where the city of Winterhold now stands. It was there, during the late Merethic era, that Ysgramor's fleet made its first landfall on Tamriel after fleeing the turmoil in Atmora. Scouting the southern lands, 𝕱𝖑 came upon this mysterious structure, a monument shaped like a bird, with its eyes and beak alight with flame. The sight both stirred awe and unease, and it is said that the snow elves who once roamed these lands and called it their home feared the monument and the forge that burned beneath it, believing it to hold great power and knew to stay clear of it. Recognizing its significance, 𝕱𝖑 and his crew chose to settle at the foot of the hill, building 𝕱𝖈𝖎𝑑𝑐 beside the forge. Here, they shaped Skyforge steel, revered as the finest metal in all of Tamriel. The forge has burned there ever since, its flame enduring through the ages as both a symbol of 𝕱𝖈𝖎𝖆's strength and resilience, and it is also a testament to its long and treasured history. Now, what exactly is the origins of the Skyforge, and why was it there to begin with? I have quite a few theories about the Skyforge myself, and believe it to be possible that its origins contains more stories than what meets the eye. My first theory connects the Skyforge to 𝕾, the goddess of storms, skies, and life-giving breath, often symbolized by birds, particularly hawks and eagles. 𝕾 is believed to have guided 𝕱𝖈𝖎𝖆𝖑𝖘 and his followers across the Sea of Ghosts to Skyrim's shores. The monument above the forge may represent 𝕾's hawk, a divine watcher meant to bless and protect her people, the Nords. With its eternal flames ever burning, could symbolize 𝕾's breath, an undying force of creation and renewal, said to have breathed life into mankind itself. The forge, then, may have been put there to represent the Nords' arrival home. To the native snow elves, however, it may have been a symbol of man's ever-growing strength and persistence, and a site of divine favor that posed a threat to their dominion. Fearing its power, they could have avoided it, or perhaps even tried to destroy it, thinking it contained the spirit of the Atmoran gods. My second theory links the Skyforge to the dragon cult, an ancient order that worshipped dragons as divine beings. The monument, though resembling a bird, could instead depict a dragon in flight, its beak and eyes burning with an eternal flame, perhaps a representation of Alduin, the World Eater. The forge might have been used as a ritual site, where sacrifices were made to appease the dragons, with weapons crafted in their honor. Given the elves' history of conflict with the dragons, they may have viewed the site as a relic of oppression, a symbol of the dragon cult's tyranny, and feared it for the powers it might unleash. My third theory is that the 𝕱𝖈𝖎𝖆, the lost dwarves of Tamriel, may have constructed the Skyforge themselves. The flames, ever burning and resistant to the ever-changing annals of history, could be powered by dwarven machinery, harnessing natural forces deep beneath the ground. Although the closest dwarven ruin to Whiterun would be within the Shimmermist Grotto, beneath the Shimmermist Cave, it is of course a possibility that many eras ago, the underground beneath Whiterun may have consisted of now collapsed tunnels of a civilization, perhaps connected to Blackreach itself. The monument's bird-like design may not be bird-like at all, but rather a mechanical construct shaped in the image of something the 𝕱𝖈𝖎𝖆 revered. This would explain why the elves may have feared the forge, for the technological power it represented was something they could neither understand nor control. My fourth and final theory is that the Skyforge is in fact a scar of the Dawn era, a remnant of the gods of old, and a wound left by the battle between Shor, the god of man, and the elven gods, a divine struggle that shaped the very foundation of the world itself. The flames that burn within the Skyforge could be remnants of that same primordial fire, ever burning and ever enduring, much like mankind's defiance against its own destiny and their will to survive these harsh lands that they call home. But regardless of the true origins of the Sky Forge, whether it was shaped by the hands of ancient craftsmen, forged by forgotten powers, or left behind as a scar from battles between gods, it remains as one of Skyrim's greatest and oldest mysteries. Its flames burn without an end, defying time and space itself, untouched by the ravages of age or decay. To the companions of 𝕱𝖈𝖎𝖑𝖘, the Sky Forge is not merely a tool for shaping steel. It is the soul of their legacy, embodying the strength through camaraderie and the unbreakable bond forged through countless trials. To those who pass through Whiterun, it is seen as a monument from the city's past, an ancient relic that sparks curiosity as well as awe. But whether its fire was ignited by the hands of men or elves, by divine forces, or by something much older, the Sky Forge remains, its eternal flames casting light over Whiterun as a testament to the past, a foundation for the present, and perhaps a promise for what lies ahead in their future.